Hello everyone, I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. Today is Friday, April 21st, 2023. We have much in our newscast today, chronicling the advanced polling as well as covering election coverage across the Virgin Islands. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Is that my lunch? Is that my lunch?
We're like the coworker that doesn't eat your lunch.
I'm John. I'm John.
CG Insurance. Good like that.
The wait is over! CCT Fire is here! Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire, bring it home and upgrade today.
For the last several years, I have had the distinct pleasure of getting to know Mrs. Lorna Smith OBE on both a personal and professional level. She's my mentor and she's my friend, and I owe so much of who I am, especially professionally, to her. Her work ethic, her determination, and her passion have rubbed off on me, and because of that, I have been able to succeed in many aspects of my life. Being a young professional in the BVI, I do think it's always special to have someone who will put you in the important rooms and allow you to learn and to grow, allow you to be the best version of yourself. She was instrumental in helping me to be confident in my abilities. She has a thing where she says that I inspire her, but I don't think she understands how much she inspires me on a daily basis. She cares, she understands, she's passionate, and she listens. Her care, her passion, and her love of all that she does are just a few of the reasons I think that you should vote for her. We are at a time in the BVI where we need doers and not just talkers. I can vouch for Lorna Smith because she is a doer and she will always fight to ensure that the BVI gets the very best. She's someone we need right now, and I am telling you here today, she can do it. On 24th April 2023, I will be voting for Lorna Smith. And you should too.
Welcome back everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. You're watching 284 News out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. The campaign trail, of course, continues across the Virgin Islands leading up to the general elections 2023. Our team was on the ground at the advanced polling for District 2. Take a look.
How do you feel about your chances of victory?
Well, I feel very confident. I've been getting tremendous amount of support. There's an overwhelming belief that we can do significantly better as a district, and people have, been willing to tell me what their needs are, and we've exchanged ideas and information. And there's a big sense in the community that we can do a lot better than we've been doing.
As a candidate and voter in the Virgin Islands, how important is this election to you?
I think it's very critical. It's critical for a number of reasons. The world is changing, and we have some significant decisions to make. It comes at a time when we've gone through a COI and we've been exposed to the number of challenges that we're having in the territory, as well as we're in the middle of our constitutional review. So if we're going to make significant changes to the system, this is the time. It's the time when we're looking for leaders who have significant contributions to be made. And so those are some of the areas where, I think that it's a very critical election. We, the Virgin Islands, we've come through a hurricane, we've come through pandemics, we're having economic challenges right now, and so those changes must be made.
Lastly, what would you like the voters to consider most when making their decision?
Well, for me, I think being a community leader, being a district representative requires a lot of organizational skills. It requires having a good personality. It requires being able to work with other government members and work with people in a way that we can benefit the community. I think that we're having a number of those challenges. As you can see, we have a number of seniors that are voting. They themselves are having some challenges. The cost of living is affecting them significantly. If we're going to agree to increase the funds that seniors are taken from government. This is something that is important. And even as the Adina Donovan home, we talked about it being having an expanded version, or a much better version of Adina Donovan home. We have persons who want to stay home in their homes and their houses and have support. And it's a strain. It's a strain on the community, it's a strain on the children. And being able to afford to not only pay for food, but have someone to look after them, these are things that I am committed to. And these kinds of initiatives requires cooperation from other government members as well. And so being able to build a relationship with whichever government is the people have chosen. These are the areas that I am very, very comfortable with and have good relationships with everyone.
How do you feel about your chances of victory?
Okay, first I want to thank the people of the Virgin Islands for coming out, the seniors especially, those who are taking advantage of advanced polling day, for exercising the democratic right. What I want to focus more on is the gratitude that I have for the opportunity to serve the Virgin Islands over the last 8 years, and especially the people in the 2nd District. I want to ensure that I commend and acknowledge my opponents, those who are contesting the seat for the 2nd District, and all other persons in the Virgin Islands who have put themselves up for candidacy to represent these territories. We have been through some turbulent times, we have been through some dark times over the last 4 years, but I believe there is hope. So for me, I believe that the representation that we've been able to exemplify over the last 4 years, especially speaking up against the ills that the last administration have been doing, representing the people of the 2nd District and my community through the worst of times and even being with them through the best of times. I believe that they have confidence in me, and I believe I am confident that we would do the right thing so that the work that we have started will be able to continue and go forward.
As a candidate and voter in the Virgin Islands, how important is this election to you?
This election is extremely important. This is a matter of where do we want to go from here. It is not a rock and a hard place. It's not a fork in the middle of the road. We are at the precipice, and our country needs every single voice, every single voter to exercise their democratic right, to ensure that they are making their say, making their voices heard on what they want to achieve and see achieved in the Virgin Islands. Again, we have faced some difficult times, so I'm encouraged young and old. I see the seniors leading by example. They have the foundation, and I'm encouraging young persons as well, middle-aged business persons, everyone to exercise their democratic right, make your voices heard. Let's send a message that we want to allow this BVI to be great again, to be respected again, and we have to restore the soul of the Virgin Islands, and it starts with your voice, it starts with your vote. So I'm encouraging each and every one. It is extremely important to come out and exercise your right to vote, and hopefully they will vote for Melvin Mitch Turnbull in the 2nd District and the team I represent, Progressive Virgin Islands Movement.
Yes. Last question. What would you like the voters to consider most when making their decision?
Well, I want them to consider the track records. Look at the people that are asking to serve you as their representative in my district. Look at what I've been able to do over the last 4 years. I've been your voice of the people, and I've used my voice for you, the people. I want you to consider the persons that you think will be able to best represent you going forward through this difficult time that we are, to the challenging times with the COI recommendation, to ensuring that we are taking the steps to build our country, to build our territory, to restore it to where it once was, but even propel visions, objectives, and goals that we are able to once again diversify our economy, build on the fishing and farming, our infrastructure, our healthcare, our education, everything. And in this tourism district that we have in the 2nd District, explore it to the possibility that everyone benefits, the business owners, the taxi operators, water supply, making sure that we have the basic needs, no longer the top shop, no longer kicking can down the road or blaming game, but get in there, do the work that is required for the people of the Virgin Islands, because the people have to be first in everything that we do. And I think we have gone a long way off that motto. So it's time to return to the bullseye and put the people as priority, because we are stronger together, and the only how we will get this BVI built if we stand united, stand with each other, reverencing God Almighty, who our forefathers depend on, and go forward to build the BVI to a place that not only we can be proud of, but generations yet unborn, when they come, they will know that they were men and women who took this opportunity, presenting themselves, and did the work necessary to secure the future of these Virgin Islands.
How do you feel about your chances of victory?
Well, I think I have a great chance, being that once you're in it, you have to be in it first, and I'm in the race, so anybody who's in it has a great chance of being successful.
As a candidate and a voter in the Virgin Islands, how important is this election to you?
It's very important to me because as we are going through some very trying times here in the territory, and voting gives you an opportunity to select persons who will represent you as a member of the public. So I think it's very important today that persons come out and vote and be a part of the process in selecting persons who they feel can represent them.
What would you like the voters to consider most when voting?
Well, for me, being a contestant in the 2nd District, I would basically want the residents of the 2nd District to consider what we've had for the past 8 years and ask yourself, is this the best thing for our district? Consider that before you make a decision. Consider that if what we have is good enough or we can do better. So when you come to the poll, before you make your X or shade your slot, you have to ensure that what you want for the next 4 years is exactly how you're voting, because what you vote is what you'll get.
How do you feel about your chances of victory?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say greetings to everyone. We're here at the King Garden Base Station, where you have we have the early election polling, and I'm pleased to see the number of people that are showing up here at the site. It means that our seniors are taking this election and giving it the importance that it has. I feel very confident about my particular position and the position of the Virgin Islands Party. So I think that we would do very well when the polls are closed by Monday evening.
Okay. And as a candidate and voter in the Virgin Islands, how important is this election to you?
Well, this election, as I had mentioned all through the campaign season, is one of the most critical. I have stated before that it ranks in line with the elections of 1950, when our Constitution restored. It ranks in line with 1967, when we had ministerial government. This here is the election just before we get our advancement in the Constitution, and we must be going towards constitutional reforms. We must be able to know what our particular alternatives are, and we as a people must come together and make a decision as to exactly where we go from here.
Last question. What would you like voters to consider most when making their decision?
Well, you have to consider that when we are done with this election, we would have to have a team that not only takes care of your personal needs or the needs of the community or the needs of the territory, but look in terms of where we go in as a people, because we have the Constitution Commission report that has to be accepted by the next or the 5th House of Assembly. We have also a lot of impediments that we have in terms of the financial services sector. How do we build our economy? How do we get our National Sustainable Development Plan in full bloom so that we can consider this? We have scarce resources. Who are the people best to advocate on your behalf in order to make sure that your schools are rebuilt, your actually entry ports are rebuilt, that your healthcare system is looked at, that your infrastructure is looked at, and all of this. And this is all in the era of scarce resources. So we must be able to negotiate properly those loans and the loan documents that we have. Our particular guarantee must not tie your hand, not only of this generation, but other generations. So we have to have favorable terms when it comes to the loan guarantees and all of the other outstanding matters. And we are best positioned to do this.
More news when 284 News returns.
Public servants deserve better. Money can be found for all kinds of nonsense under the sun, except for civil service salaries. This is just plain wrong. Premier Wheatley at the debate on Tuesday announced that there would be a salaries revision. I think I heard him right. I believe that this is the first one, he also said, since 2003. Civil servants should not have to wait 20 years for a civil service review. It should be done every 10 years, just as in the private sector, if we want people to perform and to be motivated. A salaries review, let me say this, should also include those pensions which in 2023 can buy precious little. And let me take this opportunity to say that the pensions should be paid to nurses who are not from the BVI, but who are BVI landers, who are belongers, and we should not deny them. They work as hard as everybody else. This is their home, and it is grossly unfair. Whoever has to fix it, fix it. It's wrong.
Our country has more power with Lana in we corner. The future looking brighter with Lana in we corner.
Sincere with honesty, but you know that already. Real representation from a hard-working woman. Right now, we need Lusat Smith right now. Right now, we need Lusat Smith right now. Vote for Lus on election day. 4th district ain't no other way. We tired complain, we been left out in the rain. We ain't got no time to waste no more. Oh, 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 oh. Voting Lusat Smith for sure. Oh, 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 oh.
On election day, vote Lesmo all the way. No time to joke, no time to play. Vote Lesmo all the way. Give him a chance, see what he can do. On election day, vote Lesmo Smith all the way. Yes, this is Sister Joyce telling you now is the time. Make up your mind. Vote Lesmo Smith, our independent at-large candidate. Vote Lesmo Smith.
I am Carl Dawson, Virgin Islands Party District 1 candidate. I am here at the Theresa Blyden Clinic in Capoons Bay. This clinic services Capoons Bay, Long Bay, Carrot Bay, Towers, West End areas. They tell me that they have a client base of over 2,000. The space is small, but they do the very best that they could. Healthcare is one of the key issues that we must attend to in this coming years. We have a plan to build a polyclinic here at Capoons Bay. It has been talked about for years, but now I think it must be a reality. The services that could be available would be more extensive than are here now and would allow persons in the district or elderly or youth to have services right here, as well as decrease the pressure on the services in Road Town. So this is one project that I would love to see move forward, and I'll be working hard to ensure that it happens. Working hard for everyone, I ask you to support me, Carl Dawson, in District 1.
Thank you so much for sticking with us. Continuing on the election train here in the British Virgin Islands, of course, advanced polling, as you know, was held on Thursday, the 20th of April, 2023. I happen to be at the 6th, 7th, and 8th district. Take a look. Residents from across the territory of the Virgin Islands who were senior citizens, disabled, had to travel, or for work reasons needed to vote on advanced polling came out. Today, I was at districts 6, 7, and 8. Take a look.
Good day, Mr. Duraki. You were just able to cast your vote on early voting.
Yes.
Tell us about the process. How was it? Was it a smooth process?
Fast, easy. Everybody explained it well.
And this is not your first time voting, obviously.
It's not.
Okay. What do you think about the this upcoming election?
I think it's an important event. And I think a lot of people are in there making sure it's going to go right.
All right. Now you have done quite a bit for the community. The list goes on and on. What are you most concerned about coming out of the election? What are some of your major concerns that you'd like to see addressed?
Well, I think there'll be a lot of outside interest. Other countries will pay a lot of attention to exactly how it all will work out. And it'll take a bunch of really thinking through what the meaning is of the outcome.
Now, there are a lot of persons who, believe it or not, say they're not voting. What do you say to those persons?
It's a shame. Everybody's views should count.
Kindly tell me which polling station we are at and what has been your feedback so far?
Ron, we're currently at the Eastern Polling Station at Willowood Primary School. I think the feedback has been good. There's been a steady flow of persons coming to vote today, and it's typically the case in Eastern and advanced polling. So we'll see how it progresses through the rest of the day.
As we can see, we have a number of persons bringing the seniors in, and of course, making sure that they get an opportunity to vote. How important for you as a district representative has it been to have not only the senior support on election day, but overall?
It's important to ensure that persons who have the right to vote come out and vote. And I'm happy to see that persons who are coming out exercising their right to vote today, particularly seniors, they've been consistent in terms of exercising their right to vote. And I'm happy to see that they're doing so as well this election season.
So this is just one day, but on today, the rest of today, and on Monday, what is your message, your final message to the people of the 8th District?
My message is to encourage persons to come out and exercise their political right to vote. I think it's a sacred right that we've been granted, and we should not take it for granted. And I want to encourage everyone to come out and vote on election day. Today, those who can today, and those on Monday as well.
Speaking of seniors, throughout your tenure as minister, what are some of the aspects that you've been able to attack regarding seniors?
It's important for us to ensure that the services that support our seniors are in place. We've been able to get the senior program back up and running. I'm happy that we're able to get that back functioning and well in place. It's important for us as well to ensure that all the seniors have the services that they need within the society. And we are focused on making sure that those services are in place.
I am here in the 8th District. I'm voting in the 8th District. I'm just bringing my mom for early vote today, but I'll be voting on Monday.
All right, and what's your name, sir?
My name is Lloyd Fred.
All right. Now, you are a resident of the 8th District. Today we see a lot of persons like yourself bringing the elders out and making sure that they have an opportunity in a safe environment. How important is that aspect for you as a citizen to make sure that our seniors are taken care of?
Well, for me it's very important. I look up to my mom daily. She's one of the pillars of the society. Everyone in this district would have known her, so I just want to make sure she gets out here safely and that she is well taken care of here at the polling station.
Now, Mr. Fred, believe it or not, there are a number of persons of all different age demographics who say they're not going to be voting in this election cycle. What do you say to them?
To those people who are saying that, I would encourage them to vote. Our forefathers fought very hard for this right for us to be able to vote, and not to vote would be a travesty to them. So I would encourage everyone to come out and use your right, your democratic right to vote, regardless to who you vote for. Just come out and vote.
Pleasant good day, Ms. Leonard. We're at the 7th District polling station where we are doing advanced polling. Tell us your sentiments going into the general elections.
Well, my team and I came in very confident, and we remain confident. At the end of the day, you have to trust that the populace is what they think is right for the country, and we are looking forward to, the results, and we will have to, at the end of the day, work with what the people have said. So that's basically where we are.
We see a number of seniors coming out today. Persons are assisting them. How does that make you feel? Because they're a very special part of our community. How important is it for us to have advanced polling to accommodate our special gems?
Well, as my logo say, they matter too. Our seniors are so precious to us, we tend to forget that they're the ones who raised us, who, even myself, where I got my, my personality from. So I want to, thank the seniors while I'm here, thank them for coming out, thanking them for, placing a trust in our voting system. And I think we are going to get a resounding answer from them today.
Now, my final question for you is there are many persons of all different age demographics who are very adamant, Ms. Leonard, that they are not going to be voting. What are your sentiments to those persons?
At the end of the day, as an individual, as a personal, I understand what they're saying, but for our territory, we need to see how we can change that mindset. I believe that we are going to see much more out on Monday because we are keeping watch to see what's going on, and we have to sit down and speak with them, speak with them with regards to what has been happening. I know one of my seniors said to me he's not going because last time he just up and called a snap election. So he's upset with that, and that happened years ago. So we are trying to see how we could encourage them, that this means something for a territory. You see they're out in numbers today, and that says something, and I am confident. I'm even looking forward to seeing a younger generation coming out in droves on Monday, because they matter too. I'm in the middle, but they are behind me. So whatever happens today will dictate the next 4 years of what happens with regards to building our country. What we build and what they take over. So I'm encouraging everyone.
We are here with Ms. Cindy Roseanne. Cindy, today is advanced polling, and we are in the east, particularly at the 8th district. We see a number of persons coming out, bringing their elders. What is the mood as you observe the advanced polling?
Good day, Ron. Thank you for talking to me. It seems very mellow. The process is going smoothly. Our seniors are being brought out. There seems to be care in their handling. Their people are bringing them out. It's a good sight. The seniors are the foundation right now of the territory. They are cornerstones, there are pillars. So it's great to see them coming out in numbers. This is the first polling station I've been to for the day. I'm gonna go and check out some others, but the process seems to be going well, and they seem to be making their way out to vote. So I'm happy to see that whichever way they are voting, it's their democratic right, but I'm glad that they're coming out to vote.
After this, we have more local news. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
My friends, it is no exaggeration to say that the election on the 20th and the 24th is the most important of any that we have faced. Every day we see more evidence of why this is so. The choices we make on that day will determine the future of the BVI for many years to come. And remember two things. Not voting, you are voting. You are voting for the status quo to remain. Make no mistake about that. And secondly, I know that all these promises have been made that you feel are not kept, but not voting is voting. And remember that every vote counts. So please go to the polls and vote.
Our country has more power with Lana in we corner. The future looking brighter with Lana in we corner.
Is someone gonna get that?
Hello.
Hello. So nice of you to have cleaned up for us. Hi, baby.
We're like in-laws that don't show up unannounced.
Don't worry. I've got this.
CG Insurance. Good like that.
I am Carl Dawson, Virgin Islands Party District 1 candidate. I am here at the Theresa Blyden Clinic in Capoons Bay. This clinic services Capoons Bay, Long Bay, Carrot Bay, Towers, West End areas. They tell me that they have a client base of over 2,000. The space is small, but they do the very best that they could. Healthcare is one of the key issues that we must attend to in these coming years. We have a plan to build a polyclinic here at Capoons Bay. It has been talked about for years, but now I think it must be a reality. The services that could be available would be more extensive than are here now and would allow persons in the district or elderly or youth to have services right here, as well as decrease the pressure on the services in Road Town. So this is one project that I would love to see move forward, and I'll be working hard to ensure that it happens. Working hard for everyone, I ask you to support me, Carl Dawson, in District 1.
Panning across the island to our 9th district, of course, that encompasses Virgin Gorda, Anegada, as well as a number of smaller islands. Our reporters were on the ground. Of course, advanced polling saw a huge turnout, as you can see, with persons coming together from the sister islands and participating in the election. Our team of reporters was on the ground, and particularly what was interesting is the number of support regarding the seniors who had an opportunity to preview and come out for this. Continuing on local news, at-large representative, the Honorable Shireen Flax Charles, who is now contesting the 9th district under the Progressive Virgin Islands movement, has spoken out vocally about her treatment in the House of Assembly.
Unfortunately, sometimes I too feel that I do not belong. I've been called every manner of half-breed. And I know where my navel string is buried here in this territory.
The Virgin Islands continues to be a cultural melting pot, and Honorable Shireen Flax Charles, who has heritage in Antigua, spoke adamantly about the fact that persons actually asked her to deny her Antiguan heritage.
I have been told on many an occasion, you need to stop saying that your mother is from Antigua. I heard that from the very first day on the campaign trail in 2019. Well, where else am I supposed to say that she's from? You know, I don't quite get it. But, you know, I believe that that is why we have an issue with our culture. While we do have standing in a way the British Nationality Act, we are not making those who are born here to feel as if we belong. And if I wasn't a strong Black woman, a strong Virgin Island woman, I would have tucked my tail between my legs and run and hide.
Viewers, that is it for today's News Roundup. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the Virgin Islands. We are happy to be able to bring you this coverage, of course. I encourage you to stay tuned to our website as well as our social media platforms, 284media.com, as well as 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. Of course, our Jaka Wooding will see you tomorrow for the Weekend News Roundup. But most importantly, as we traverse through the next general elections, which will be held on Monday, April 24th, we encourage you to conduct yourselves decently and in order. In addition to that, we have our series Just for the Record. If you have not had an opportunity to do so, please catch up with your candidates that are contesting the next general elections. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.
My friends, it is no exaggeration to say that the election on the 20th and the 24th is the most important of any that we have faced. Every day we see more evidence of why this is so. The choices we make on that day will determine the future of the BVI for many years to come. And remember two things. Not voting, you are voting. You are voting for the status quo to remain. Make no mistake about that. And secondly, I know that all these promises have been made that you feel are not kept, but voting is not voting is voting. And remember that every vote counts. So please go to the polls and vote.
Our country has more power with Lana in we corner. The future looking brighter with Lana in we corner.
Is someone gonna get that?
Hello.
Hello. So nice of you to have cleaned up for us. Hi, baby.
We're like in-laws that don't show up unannounced.
Don't worry, I've got this.
CG Insurance. Good like that.
I am Carl Dawson, Virgin Islands Party District 1 candidate. I am here at the Theresa Blyden Clinic in Capoons Bay. This clinic services Capoons Bay, Long Bay, Carrot Bay, Towers, West End areas. They tell me that they have a client base of over 2,000. The space is small, but they do the very best that they could. Healthcare is one of the key issues that we must attend to in this coming years. We have a plan to build a polyclinic here at Capoons Bay. It has been talked about for years, but now I think it must be a reality. The services that could be available would be more extensive than are here now and would allow persons in the district or elderly or youth to have services right here, as well as decrease the pressure on the services in Road Town. So this is one project that I would love to see move forward, and I'll be working hard to ensure that it happens. Working hard for everyone, I ask you to support me, Carl Dawson, in District 1.